Hello everyone, it's Grizzly Storytime. Today I'm going to tell you an original story that I created myself a few months ago. I have told this before, however, it was in animated form. It's really a good story, so I'll tell it to you today in person, and it's called Adventures of Figgy and Floppy, Flora the Honeybee. What shall we do today? Figgy asked Floppy. Well, I heard there's lots of insects gathering near the lake. Let's go and have lunch there, replied Floppy. Great idea, let's go. I bet I get there first, said Figgy. So off they went, bouncing along the path towards the lake. It seems quite far. I wish I could fly, said Floppy. I can fly. What? Who said that? asked Floppy. I don't know what it is. I have never seen anything quite like it, but it seems very friendly, replied Figgy. I'm a honeybee, and I have a stinger, but don't worry, I only use the stinger if I think I'm going to get hurt. My name is Flora. Oh, hello, Flora. Don't worry, we won't hurt you, replied Figgy. I live in my house up there, hanging from the tree. It's called a hive, said Flora. Figgy, don't even think about climbing up there, said Floppy. Aha, I won't, I learned my lesson. I know I'm not a tree frog, replied Figgy. Flora, what do honeybees do all day? We frogs just play, jump, croak, and eat a lot, asked Figgy. Oh my, we lady honeybees are important and very hard working. Do you really want to know? asked Flora. Yes, please. It seems like it's much more exciting than catching insects all day, replied Floppy. Well, okay. A lady honeybee has many different jobs. Firstly, we look after our hive and make sure it's kept clean. We also go and visit many flowers to collect their pollen and honeydew. Then we take it back to the hive for everyone to eat, said Flora. Wow, you really are busy, replied Figgy. Did you know that when we collect pollen, we share it with the flowers because it makes them grow? And the honeydew we collect, we make into honey. Sometimes we lose our honey to the big walking things. I think they call them humans. But we don't mind, said Flora. You really are important, Flora, much more than frogs, said Floppy. There seems to be lots of bees flying around the top of your house. I don't think they have a stinger like you, said Floppy. Yes, you're right. They are male bees called drones. And they don't have stingers and they don't do any work. They are really lazy. Only the lady bees work. That's why we are called workers. There is also another type of bee. She is the queen. She is very big and lays thousands of eggs, replied Flora. That's really interesting, Flora. So now we know all about honeybees, said Figgy. We must go now, Flora. We were on our way to lunch. I'm sure we will see you again soon, said Floppy. Off they went, jumping and hopping, pretending to be honeybees. Buzz, buzz. So that's the end of this Figgy and Floppy adventure story. I hope you enjoyed my story. Be careful if you see Mrs. Honeybee. Don't hurt her, or she might try to sting you. Bye for now. Bye! The Elves and the Shoemaker. Good day everyone, it's Grizzly time. Today's story is an unusual story. It's a fantastic, magical story. And it's got a great lesson for us. And it's called The Elves and the Shoemaker. There was once a shoemaker who worked very hard and was very honest, but still he could not earn enough to live upon. And all he had in the world was gone, save just leather enough to make one pair of shoes. That day he cut his leather out, all ready to make up the shoes the next day, meaning to rise early in the morning to his work. His conscience was clear and his heart light amidst all his troubles, so he went peacefully to bed, left all his cares to heaven, and soon fell asleep. In the morning, after he had said his prayers, he sat himself down to his work, when, to his great wonder, there stood the shoes already made upon the table. The good man knew not what to say or think at such an odd thing happening. He looked at the workmanship. There was not one false stitch in the whole job. All was so neat and true that it was quite a masterpiece. The same day a customer came in, and the shoes suited him so well that he willingly paid a price higher than usual for them. And the poor shoemaker, with the money, bought leather enough to make 2 pairs more. In the evening he cut out the work and went to bed early, that he might get up and begin early next day. But he was saved all the trouble, for when he got up in the morning, the work was done already. Soon in came buyers, who paid him handsomely for his goods, so that he bought leather enough for 4 pairs more. He cut out the work again overnight and found it done in the morning as before. And so it went on for some time. Whatever he got ready in the evening was always done by daybreak, and the good man soon became thriving and well off again. One evening, about Christmas time, as he and his wife were sitting over the fire chatting together, he said to her, "I should like to sit up and watch tonight, that we may see who it is that comes and does my work for me." The wife liked the thought, so they left a light burning and hid themselves in a corner of the room behind a curtain that was hung up there, and watched what would happen. As soon as it was midnight, there came in 2 little naked dwarfs, and they sat themselves upon the shoemaker's bench, took up all the work that was cut out, and began to ply with their little fingers, stitching and wrapping and tapping away at such a rate that the shoemaker was all wonder, and could not take his eyes off them. And on they went till the job was done, and the shoes stood ready for use upon the table. This was long before daybreak, and then they bustled away as quickly as lightning. The next day the wife said to the shoemaker, "These little elves have made us rich, and we ought to be thankful to them, and do them a good turn if we can. I am quite sorry to see them run about as they do, and indeed it's not very decent, for they have nothing upon their backs to keep off the cold. I'll tell you what, I will make each of them a shirt and a coat and a waistcoat and a pair of pantaloons into the bargain, and you make each of them a little pair of shoes." The thought pleased the good cobbler very much, and one evening, when all the things were ready, they laid them out on the table instead of the work that they used to cut out, and then went and hid themselves to watch what the little elves would do. About midnight in they came, dancing and skipping, hopping around the room, and then went to sit down to their work as usual. But when they saw the clothes lying for them, they laughed and chuckled and seemed mightily delighted. Then they dressed themselves in the twinkle of an eye, and danced and capered and sprang about as merry as could be, till at last they danced out of the door, and away over the green. The good couple saw them no more, but everything went well with them from that time forward, for as long as they lived. So that's the end of today's story. There is a moral. Hard work is the secret to making dreams and wishes come true. If we work hard and be kind to people, rewards will come our way. This is a great story. It makes you feel happy for the shoemaker and his wife, especially as they make clothes for the elves. Well, my friends, that's it for today. I do hope you all enjoyed hearing today's story. Bye!